Hello, hello. Did you know that there was a strategy to winning? Winning is not just to the fastest or to the strongest or who's the most learned. Winning, there is a strategy, and it comes way before the race ever begins. So stick with me, watch your talk. We're going to talk about it. Okay, so as I said before, with winning, there is a strategy. There's a strategy that takes place way before a race or a thing or whatever you're doing ever begins. I will say the other morning I was getting out to my car and I was going to work and I looked down on the ground and there's this like yellow, goldish black turtle like right on the corner of my garage. And if I back, he looked like he was going to turn in and come, sit in the garage. And I thought, if you don't move, I'm going to back up on you. And so we didn't want that. So then I came home from work. I decided to go for a walk, go outside, and there is this rabbit, not just one, but two rabbits. I see on the beginning of the walk and towards the end of the walk, I see another rabbit. And this rabbit is just like in the path of the walkway and he's just not moving. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, rabbit, if you don't move, there's going to be problems because, I'm not afraid of it per se, but I don't want it to touch me or, it was a jackrabbit, it was a brown rabbit. And he wasn't afraid of me. He was sitting there. He was just like, well, I'm going to eat. You do what you do and I'm going to do what I do. So I quickly walked past it. But then later on, someone brought to my attention, hey, that's you literally experienced the tortoise and the hare experience. And then, of course, that made me think of the Aesop fable. I think I'm saying that right. That talked about the rabbit through his arrogance and just knowing that he's going to just win because he's fast. And he was like, oh, of course, I'm going to beat this turtle. Like the turtles are the slowest on earth. Of course, I'll beat the turtle. So he looks and he rests and he speeds past. And he taunts the turtle a little bit and, just thinks he's got it. Like I said, with his arrogance, he's puffed up. He thinks that he's got it. But the moral of the story was like slow and steady wins the race. Now that slow and steady, those are just two words. But let me tell you, slow and steady has so much impact. And at the end of that story, of course, I remember the tortoise wins. And why? Why does the tortoise win? The tortoise wins because of slow and steady strategy. That happened way before they said go. That happened way before the race began because the tortoise prepared. The tortoise said, I'm not stopping. The tortoise was like, I'm going to be consistent. The tortoise was like, I'm in this for the long haul. And so that just was so powerful to me when I was reminded of the tortoise and the hare fable. I'm like, that's such a good story. It has so many life keys that you can, learn from. So much strategy in there. So it also reminded me of when I ran my 5K for my birthday when I turned 52. Woohoo! I turned 52 and I said, you know what? I'm going to do a 52-day birthday challenge and I am going to run a 5K. Never did a 5K for running. But my idea of winning is in the eye of the beholder, because my idea of winning was not to be the fastest, was not to get the best time out of my age group or anything like that. My strategy or my idea, my thought process of winning was, I want to not stop. I want to be consistent. I want to make sure that I keep my feet putting one foot in front of the other the whole time. I don't want to walk. I want to run, jog, whatever I had to do to get through the 5K. Now, 5K is only like 3.1 miles. And for most people, that's nothing. But for me, that was a challenge for me. And I had to prepare. I gave myself 52 days to say, okay, this is not going to be easy. So I'm going to take it seriously. I'm not going to act like, because I, ran 6 miles before in life way back when some time ago. But I didn't want to act like this was just, I can do this because I've done it before. I had to add some strategy to it. I had to get something and say, okay, this is how we're going to strategize and complete this 3.1 miles. And lo and behold, I did it. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And when I actually ran, because I had a strategy, I actually ran the 5K before the race. Like I said, winning is done up here way before the race even starts. There's a strategy. If you don't have a strategy and you get out there and you think that you're going to, because of your things that you've learned, because of your speed, because of your strength, because of the things that you already know above somebody else, is going to put you in first place, I beg you to think about that again. Go back and rethink that, because that's not all necessarily always going to work out that way. It's not necessarily going to be a true statement for you or for most people. You've got to strategize, because consistency, slow and steady, wins the race. There's a song. Now, I'm not a singer, but I'm trying to sing this a little bit of it. I don't know who sang it. It's an old song. It goes, "The race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to the one that stands and endures it all." I think that's the words, but that's what it reminds me of when I think the race is not given to the swift. And in the Aesop fable, the tortoise and the hare, the tortoise won, the rabbit did not. So there's got to be something. So it's something to learn from that. It's such a great story. So when applying it to my life, applying it to the race, guess what? This was my winning medal. No, I did not come in first place. No, I did not have, there was a few people cheering for me when I came across the finish line. But guess what? Inside, I was so happy. I had so much joy. I was like, God, thank you. I did it. Even though I did it before the race even started. I ran 3 miles and beat my time before the race even started. But I got the medal because I did. And I didn't need this medal. In my heart, the medal was already there. I got this medal, though, because I completed the race. I didn't win it. Guess what? And the winner, the person that beat my time, guess what? They got the same thing. They got the same thing I got. So it's all in the strategy. It's how you prepare your mind way before the race begins. And that is how I got through that 5K. I will say another thing. I challenged myself again. The same thing I did. I said, except this time I did the Marine Corps half marathon. What made me think I could do that? Don't know. Someone asked me. I said, yes, I will challenge myself, and I did it. I don't know if I'm ever going to do that again, but I can say that I did it. And the same thing. It was a longer race. No, I did not come in first. But again, winning was in the eye of the beholder. Me. Winning to me meant I'm not going to stop. I'm going to put one foot in front of the other. This time, because I only had about 30 days to prepare for 13.1 miles or 2 miles. Yeah, 13.1 miles. I only had 13.1, yes. I only had less than 30 days to prepare. I don't know what I was thinking. It was quite a challenge for me. But again, I did it because I said I wasn't going to stop. I thought about what's at the end. I felt I used a strategy like, what if my children needed me and they were in trouble and I had to get to them? What would I do? Would I stop or would I keep running? Most moms can relate, and parents can relate to, if your children needed you, what lengths would you go to get to your children to help them? If someone they were held hostage somewhere or whatever. This is just my strategy, what I did. I thought, I cannot stop. I absolutely cannot stop. I must keep going. So I can get to my children. So that is what kept me going on. Now I will tell you after about 10 miles, I lost my way. I did. I thought, oh my gosh, I lost something happened. Motivation was just gone, but I got it back. My husband ran with me. I got it back. So some of it I did walk. I did not do it the whole time, run the exact whole time. But what happened at the end, I got my medal because I crossed that line and I did a better time than I ever thought I was going to do. Everybody this is my medal. It's beautiful. This is the path. You can't really see it, but this is the path that we went on. And this little part right here, you see that incline? That was the hill. That was my 10 miles. It was a big hill we had to go up. And of course, there was somebody taking pictures at the top of that hill. And I was like, I'm not in the mood for pictures right now. Get out my face. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't pretty. But your girl did it. I did it. And I have the medal to say I did it. But I didn't stop. And I actually kept a great pace. So again, strategy, because even in the 30 days that I said to myself, don't stop. What if your children needed you, would you stop? What if you couldn't get to them? Or what if they were in trouble? Would you stop? No, kept going. And I talked to the Lord on the way. I sang to myself. I talked to myself. I encouraged myself because I know that winning, there's a strategy to winning. And that applies, and not just a physical race like you're running, but that can apply to any area of your life. I wrote down some things that I know that will help. It helped me. And number one, you got to be prepared. You have to be prepared. If you know you're about to do something, don't just, do something that's challenging or a great feat. Don't try to just do it off of your memory, off of something that I did this before. I'm fast. I run every day. So you never know what you're going to face. You never know what you're going to face. I thank God that the sun wasn't out. It was like, it showed itself a little bit. The race was at 6 a.m. So it was like, yes, because if the sun was out, see, that's a whole nother thing. But because I did not know if the sun was going to be shining, I still had to prepare and say, just in case that sun is shining like that, I'm going to make sure I get good time. When that race starts at 6 o'clock, I'm going to get out good. I was above the 2-hour pacer for a while. I didn't even know it. But again, my goal was I got to get done before this sun comes out. What if my children need me? That was all my focus. They need me. What if they're in trouble? I got to get to them. Would I stop? Those things like that, things that you think of people in the past, like, did they stop? So because to me, the challenge was more than just the run. The challenge was more than just the run. The challenge was mental workout. The challenge was to get this mental workout and this, make my mental thought process more keen and sharp. So I said, be prepared. Consistency beats speed when paired with discipline. That's another one. Discipline. In practicing for the 5K and practicing for the half marathon, even though I didn't have much time with the half marathon, I still had to have the discipline to say, okay, when I come through those doors when I get home from work, I can't just say, well, I'm just going to sit down and I'm just going to not work out today. I'm just not going to practice today because I don't feel like it and the race is blah, blah, blah. No, I had to be disciplined. I had to eat right. I had to focus on, things that I put in my mouth. I had to make sure I drank water. I had to make sure I did a lot of things to prepare and to discipline myself for what I was going to face. That was the thing. If I didn't do that, then those were things that could be to my detriment. So the next thing was, okay, don't underestimate others. Okay. So don't underestimate people. Somebody you might not think that I can beat them. Because I'm going to tell you, I did see some people out there that were running that didn't look like, I'm saying how are they doing this? But guess what? They got one of these. I'm talking about and I'm not trying to be funny or anything, but I'm just saying it was a couple of ladies that were like, don't underestimate them just because of their size. Let me tell you something. They looked like they was about 300 pounds. And guess what? As I was finishing, guess where I saw them? Right behind me, finishing with me. Hey, don't ever underestimate anyone. You stick with your plan because they also got one of these too. You stick with your plan. You stick with your strategic plan, your strategy to finish because slow and steady wins the race. I stopped and went to the bathroom. Guess what? They probably kept going. They skipped, hopped, whatever they had to do, but they finished right with me. So never underestimate anyone. Because that's what the hare did. It underestimated the tortoise because it's like, you're slow. I'm fast. It's just science. I'm going to beat you. And it didn't happen. Next thing it said, avoid arrogance, and complacency. Don't think that, we've talked about that. Don't think that just because you've done it before or just because you're fast or just because you're strong or whatever, you can do it. Or just because you know this job, that you should be the one picked for it. But when you got this other person that's been strategizing, they said, I'm studying, I'm looking over the notes, I'm going over the training, I'm doing this. And when it comes time to show my stuff, I'm going to be sharp. Why? Because they had a strategy for winning. Maybe that promotion was coming. And you thought, I've been in this position longer than them. I know the work. I can do it. Guess what? You might not get picked because that person that's been doing the extra training, that's been taking notes, that's been going by and asking, hey, how do you do this? How was this done? Guess what? That person now is sharp and they're keen and they got like divine speed. You've been working in it for all this time and they just started working in it and they got it. So never underestimate and never get complacent in what you're doing. Last one, stay focused. Stay focused. Like I said, 10 miles into it, I was saying to myself, why? How? I had literally, I drew blank. I had nothing. It was just a blank. And I think it's because I knew about this hill that was coming. I just never ran the hill. But I told myself, just keep going. I mean, it was not pretty. It was not pretty at all. But I mean, my nose was running. I was huffing and puffing. I probably complained. My gosh. And my husband, bless his heart, he was trying his best to help me. He was like, don't you stop. He's like, if you stop, it's going to be worse, because I was like trying to stretch my legs out, But yeah, I had to stay focused. Stay focused on what my main goal was. And that was, like I said, what if my children needed me if they was in trouble? Would I stop then? And I wanted to finish. And I actually finished, like I said, in a better time than I ever thought. I was smiling. I was so happy because I finished in a better time than I even imagined that I would finish in. And I did it. Even when I came home, probably for a couple weeks afterward, I would think about it and I would just cry. I would shed a tear thinking, God, we did it. We did it. We did that. You kept my mind. You kept my body. I didn't get hurt. I didn't pull anything. My shins weren't hurting. My feet weren't hurting. My hamstrings weren't hurting. Like, I was good. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that. The race is not given to the swift, but the one who endures. And that was me that day. And so that's what I want to tell you. Whatever it is, this was my endurance. I love it. Whatever it is for you, whatever it is that keeps you in the race, remember, strategy. With winning, there's strategy. And winning is in the eye of the beholder. It does not mean you came first or you got something first. That's not always the case. It is strategy. It is, did I finish my goals? Did I complete my goals? Did I do my best? The answer is yes. If the answer is yes to all those things, then you have won. Whatever it is you challenge yourself to do. And if you have done those things, if you have checked those boxes, you have planned, you prepared, you strategized, you didn't get complacent, you didn't underestimate people, you stuck to what you were going to do, your prepared goals, then you are a winner. So that is all I have for White Chair Talk today. I would love for you to like, share, to subscribe. And you know what? Let me know if there are some things that you overcame, that were tough, that you endured, that you had a strategy. What was your strategy to get through the race or the promotion or the weight loss or whatever it was in your life? What was your strategy? I would love for you to leave a comment and let me know. All right. You guys have a wonderful evening, and I want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be every day. Show up just being the very best. All right. Until next time. Bye.